There's nothing better than the finely tuned V8 engine. DIY Duke here. This is my 1978 Jeep CJ5, which started out, and I'll show you a picture of that, as a frame. And I built it up from there. It took about 3 years, but I finally got it done. So having it all fixed up, I want to make sure it kind of stays fixed up. One of the problem areas in any vehicle is the inside of the fender wells. Because in the winter time, rain and all that, gets all shut up in there. That's a really key spot where rust can. So some folks from Flex Seal sent me a product they wanted me to use. And I'm going to use that in the fender well and see how well that works. It's a rubberized product that is a lot of times used for gutters or roof patches or things like that that prevent water from getting in or out of something. But I think it's going to work really well for this. Now, some of the frame, before I put the body on, I use an undercoating product that comes in a can. You can also buy it in a more elaborate form with a spray on, more of a professional way, but I, again, wanted to keep the rust from appearing on the frame in the vehicle. But this, I'm going to try this because it sounds pretty cool. Sounds good. So I'm going to take the tire off, jack this up, get a light underneath there. One of the key things is to make sure that's prepped, clean it up all good, and then we're going to use that product. Here it is, Flex Seal, as seen on TV. So a couple things you want to remember to do before you start spraying it on is you want to protect yourself from any bad fumes, because according to the can, like a lot of products like this, spray paint, lacquer-based stuff, whatever, you know, it is very stinky. So protect your nasal passages because you don't want to mess those up. Probably to protect your eyes, because there's a lot of warnings on this thing about eyes and don't drink it and don't sniff it until you get high and that kind of junk. Basically what you want to do is use it for what it's meant to use for.
There. Nice, nice. Here we go. Now you can see that stuff. It's a rubberized product, and it's like the undercoating that I used on it, but I'm thinking this might work even better because it's rubberized.
That looks like a nice coating to me. I've only used a little part of the can. What I'm going to do is finish the front and the back. Maybe let it sit up a little bit, like a paint or any kind of product like that that's wet on contact. You want it to kind of set up and like do a little curing up first, then do another coat, because I really want to protect that fender well from all that oil, grease, snow, ice, mud, and all that stuff that will build up on a fender well. So let's go ahead and spray a little bit more on that. Oh, my eyes! Oh! I just messing with you. So, got the second coat on. I'm going to let that dry. Once that's dry, I'm going to do kind of a durability test on it. Maybe take a scraper or something that's going to kind of simulate what mud and kind of road grime is going to do and just see how durable it is. What I did was take the Flex Seal, the same stuff I sprayed on the fender roll of the Jeep, and sprayed it on a piece of metal, the same kind of gauge, like around 20 gauge metal. So there's a couple coats on there, like I did on the fender roll. So I'm going to simulate a little bit of abrasion going on there. I tell you, driving around on the road, it's like, oh man, lots of rocks. And, okay, this is a super stiff wire brush. And man, it's like digging, I'm digging like crazy. Let's try a little motor oil. Put on there. Light oil comes off the road. Smear it around. Somebody just blew their engine, all the oil came on the road, then it shoots up on your fender well. And then along comes a rock. Pretty good. Okay, Now, I'm curious to see what happens if a semi-truckload of lacquer thinner wrecks. And then the lacquer thinner ends up in your fender wells. Lacquer thinner. What's this stuff? Let's set there a second. Okay. Wow. It's getting a little soft, but it's still on there. Jeez. So, very impervious to all those chemicals. That's really good. That's what I wanted for my Jeep. So, Flex Seal, liquid rubber sealant coating. And it's a company, good friend and partner, Flex Shot.
Sell out.
Well, not really. I mean, it might look that way, but they just sent me the stuff and said, hey, would you maybe put it in a video? And I thought, well, I needed the stuff to use on my Jeep anyway, so I'm not really no, I'm not a sellout. DIY Duke, until next time. Brake cleaner is really good for quickly removing grease and oil. This happens to be a 3M product. Anyway, I'm not pitching everything, but whatever.